One of the most exciting announcements last week was to do with the new Hellblade game, but less than a week later, we find out that the game might be in trouble. Let's talk about it. Friends and foes and gamers alike, my name is Mon. Welcome to my little corner of the internet where I like to talk about all things gaming. I was not expecting to make a video like this morning. I woke up to a DM that literally just said Ninja Theory is shutting down, and my instant reaction was, what? We only got the Senua announcement a week ago, probably a little over a week ago, week and a half ago, and now we get this announcement today that Ninja Theory are rumoured to be shutting down, and the fate of the game is now up in the air. So let's talk about it. Let's have a look and talk about what could be happening next for the game. I'm not going to lie, I'm so surprised, and I actually had my notes laid out. I actually had a list of things I wanted to research to make a video about Senua, the new game, and just in general, what 3 Hellblade games could mean and stuff like that. However, I think I might need to put that video on hold because today's announcement was not good. I normally script my discussion videos before I film them, but today I'm just winging it because there was no time to write a script for this. And literally, I heard this news right as I was leaving for work, so I literally could not look into it during the work day. I had things to do after work too, so I decided for the video we'll look through it together, we'll read the article about it together and see what's going on here. So from IGN, Hellblade developer Ninja Theory and Psychonauts developer Double Fine are reportedly among the studios fighting to avoid closure as Microsoft makes significant cuts to the Microsoft business, to the Xbox business. Bloomberg reported that Compulsion, Ninja Theory and Double Fine are all negotiating with Microsoft to potentially go independent, although doing so will likely result in significant layoffs. And you see, that worries me because I don't know how it's going to work like with Ninja Theory. We're just focusing on Ninja Theory for this video. With Senua and how far they've gotten. I don't know if they have the means to go independent. I've seen it online that, their best bet is to find a new buyer. But if they don't do that, I don't know what it means for the game. It'd be such a shame to see this game get cancelled because it looks stunning. Clearly a lot of work has already gone into it, and it's still a year out from release, and I think this just shows that no matter how far you get in the game industry, it's never guaranteed and it's never safe. I made a point, I think it was in my Power Lives video, that this type of thing can happen. I think I was talking about Life by You, and basically, it doesn't matter how far into a game you're in, it doesn't matter how close to the finish line you are, something like this can happen and just literally tank years worth of work, and that's such a shame. And I think that's part of the game development side that most gamers don't really think of. Earlier today, the game business reported that Xbox Game Studios boss Craig Duncan has stepped down. Then Kyoto reported that South of Midnight developer Compulsion is under threat of closure. Now Bloomberg is reporting pretty much all of Microsoft-owned studios are concerned about what happens next, with Ninja Theory Double Fire named as being in talks with their parent company. So it's not confirmed yet. I was actually told it was confirmed. So it's not fully confirmed yet, but it's just in discussion. I don't know how true it is, but I've seen it on another website that apparently the staff from Ninja Theory got a notice telling them they can start looking for other work. And that's definitely not a good sign. So that text going out, that would have been if the staff were under an exclusivity order. So again, I don't know for sure, but when you sign on to a studio like that, when you sign on and sign your contract, part of that contract could mean you can't work for another studio for a year or two after your departure. That's very common. It's not just in the game industry. That's very common in a lot of career sectors. But the fact that they're literally telling them, right, you guys can go and find something else, and they're not officially laid off yet, that's not a good sign. Also, shout out to Nova. She's just been chilling there the whole time I've been talking. They're not being menaces this recording, which is unusual for them. Just last week, new Xbox boss Ashish Sharma warned of a company reset that most took as a signal that Microsoft were planning big layoffs and studio closures. UK studio Ninja Theory, behind the technically impressive Hellblade franchise, which has struggled for commercial success. The developer has announced a sequel, Senua, just over a week ago at the Xbox showcase. That paragraph makes me sad a little bit that, you know, Hellblade struggled for commercial success, just because it was such a good game. It was so, like, different for its time and like so ambitious, and I actually wrote my university thesis on Hellblade. Like, that's how moved I was by it. So it's sad that like such a good game did have that struggle, you know. I would have thought it did a lot better. And it's such a poor move that they announced Senua and then a week later they get layoffs. Like, you know, and when I say it's a poor move, like, it's a poor move on behalf of the people who knew this was coming, you know. I feel so bad for the developers in this situation because I don't think they were aware until they got that email today that they can look for other work. So imagine you were working for 2-3 years on a game. It's been announced. Finally, it's out there. Finally, you're allowed to talk about what you've been working on. And then just a week and a half later, you get an email saying that you're potentially going to be laid off. Like, I cannot imagine anything more crushing. Like, I just feel so bad for the team and in this situation. But, you know, I really hope that they are able to get a buyer and, you know, keep the game going and get it released. And I think another thing I find so sad about it is I remember, like, you know, probably from 2014, even up to like recent years, you know, a lot of studios scrambled to get involved with Xbox. You know, I remember Tomb Raider for Shadow and Rise, they swapped over to Xbox as their publisher. And I remember I was not so happy about that because that meant they were Xbox exclusives. Now, obviously, they're on other consoles now, but at the time, I was so upset over that. I can't name them all off the top of my head, but I know that Tomb Raider was one of them, Ninja Theory. Don't Nod, who made Life is Strange, they didn't move exclusively over, but they did make a game under Microsoft Studios, which was called Tell Me Why. So in the last 10 years, game developers were basically scrambling to get under the Microsoft umbrella. And it's just a shame now just to see that this is what the outcome is, you know? Like, I remember when Ninja Theory in particular announced that they were joining Xbox, they were saying how this was such a big move for them and, like, you know, they predicted great things in the future. And now it's 2026 and we're looking at potential layoffs a week after their game has been announced. One thing that reading this as kind of triggered in my mind, I do want to make a video, you know, kind of just talking about Hellblade and talking about, you know, the good it has done and the research that went into it and how it has impacted the gaming industry. I'm essentially going to read you guys my thesis. Like, I just feel like it needs to be discussed, you know, because, oh, Hellblade, there's nothing like it. So Xbox is closing down the studio, but apparently is searching for a buyer. What made news particularly surprising was that Ninja Theory had just debuted a trailer for their new game, Senua, just over a week ago at the Xbox Showcase, which is the third game in the Hellblade series. Again, that's what I'm very surprised about as well. And just to back up what I said, Ninja Theory was acquired by Microsoft in 2018. So yeah, that all adds up, because I think Don't Nod was 2018 as well, and Tomb Raider was 2014. So with reports that Ninja Theory has been marked for closure or to be spun off, I'm guessing spun off means sold off to a new publisher. I'm guessing that's what that means. This leaves the future of Senua in doubt, even if it just got announced earlier this month. And for the sake of everyone who worked on that game, I really hope that's not the case. I hope they find a new publisher, and I hope that they get this game out, because it'll be such a shame to see all that work go to waste. And I think what's really sad about this too is that I think they were branching out with Senua to like add new mechanics and push themselves a little further with the game. I think there was more stealth announced for Senua. So especially when it's a game that's that ambitious, like, you know, it's a shame to see it come to this. Ninja Theory was acquired by Microsoft in 2018 as part of a high-profile studio buying spree. Yep, that's the one I just mentioned. Hellblade 2 launched in 2024 and earned a genuine praise for its visual and audio design. though it drew fair criticism for its short runtime and limited mechanical depth. These criticisms weren't unfair, but they also weren't unusual for a studio-scale project trying to push cinematic boundaries on a constricted budget. I can never say that word. I'm just going to say this as a personal opinion. I probably should save this for another video, but I think that they kind of should have left Senua and the first Hellblade alone. I don't think they should have made sequels. I think the first game was so perfect that they didn't need to, and especially because there was a lot of limitations in the first game, but that suited the first game. But then when you bring a second one in, you automatically expect more, you know? What most players miss in situations like this is the gap between a game being good and a game being profitable enough to justify the parent company's expectations. Ninja Theory was making adventure games that won awards and built loyal audience. That's not nothing, but for a company the size of Microsoft, it apparently wasn't enough. And I think even today, Ninja Theory might be best known for Devil May Cry still. I don't think it would be as well known for Hellblade. I think when you say Ninja Theory, a lot of people will think of Devil May Cry. Microsoft have not officially commented on any reports or closures. For fans who just watched Senua's reveal with genuine excitement, the next few weeks will determine whether the project has any future at all. Oh, that's such a grim statement. That is such a grim statement, because I just can't imagine being in their shoes, working so hard in the game, and then this is the outcome. But it says it right here, and it's bang on the mark, to be honest, that if a game has like a loyal audience and much praise, it doesn't mean a lot if the game isn't profitable. You know, at the end of the day, what they're looking at is the dollar signs. You know, they want the games to bring in big money, not necessarily like create a loyal community. This is a topic for another video, but I feel like with a game of Hellblade's nature, it's sad to see it go downhill. But at the same time, you know, it was made with like the intention of exploring psychosis and raising awareness for psychosis and showing what it's like. And my worry with Hellblade 2 and Senua is that concept is going to be overused. You know, I feel for what they were trying to do, one game was perfect. I do wish the developers the best. I hope that it all works out in their favor. I hope we get this game. I hope we get to experience it. I hope that the team get to experience giving it to us and let us see what they were working on. But until then, we just kind of have to wait for any updates and see what happens. Hopefully a buyer will step in and take over Ninja Theory and they can continue their work. But until then, who knows? Who knows? Because bear in mind, when a publisher takes on a game, you know, they have to really believe in it. So it's not just a matter of finding a new publisher, it's finding a publisher that's going to believe in this game, that's going to believe in the Senua title and wants it out there and believes it can do good. But my fingers are crossed for the best possible outcome. I would love to see this game reach the gamers. And, you know, as someone who studied game design, I just hope the best case scenario for the developers, because, again, I just can't imagine what they're feeling right now. So what do you guys think? Are you hopeful for a new publisher to step in and help Ninja Theory release this game? Or are you preparing for the worst? Let me know in the comments, because I love reading them, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!